A must-have garlic rasam right after all the festivities, especially after Diwali when we have munched in a lot of sweets and savories. The garlic rasam is a great soothing diet to follow. Let me show you how to make garlic rasam in my style. In a vessel, I'm heating up about 1 tablespoon of peanut oil. In this chopper of mine, I have about 3 tomatoes which I've just crushed, and here are about 5 to 6 garlic with the skin, and I'm going to chop it roughly along with the tomatoes. It should look like this, where the garlic is not completely crushed out. Let's give a quick tadka with some mustard seeds. Make sure it pops completely before we add the other ingredients. Here are 2 red chilies which I'm just going to chop it in half and add it. There you go. Followed with a little bit of cumin seed. And now in goes the tomatoes which we have crushed. I'm just going to add maybe a cup of water and rinse this whole thing. Nothing goes wasted when it comes to rasam. So just keep it aside and saute down the tomatoes in the oil, and along with this I'm going to add some salt and turmeric. So I'm adding around 2 teaspoons of salt right now and about 1/4 a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Once this cooks down and the tomatoes and garlics, all of that becomes nice and soft, then we'll add the rasam powder, followed with and cook it, saute it in the oil along with the tomatoes, and then we'll follow it up with the tamarind paste. This should take around 5 minutes to boil. I'm going to cover it and let it boil. While the tomatoes and garlic are cooking, I'm going to take out about 1.5 tablespoons of tamarind pulp, which I normally soak and store in the refrigerator. If you are not having this, then get the ready-made tamarind paste and take about 1 full tablespoon and dilute it in 1 cup of water. Here is the tamarind juice ready. I have mixed it with the other 1 cup of water which I used to rinse out the jar. Let's check on the tomatoes, and you can see that the oil is separating already and the tomatoes are well cooked. At this stage, I'm going to add our freshly ground rasam powder. The aroma of this powder is just unbelievable. I'm adding around 3 teaspoons of rasam powder here. Mix it well and let it cook with the tomatoes for just 1 minute. Add some curry leaf here and mix it well. And it's been a minute now. Let's add the tamarind juice along with that extra water. And rasam is always subject to how sour you like it. I always suggest at this stage you should taste for seasoning. If you feel the tamarind is too less, you can always add a little bit more and then adjust according to your choice. Now let this come to a rolling boil and we'll adjust the water. In the mortar and pestle, just take the stems of the coriander, reserve the leaf for garnishing. I'm just going to pound it down and add it to the rasam. Just imparts a very good flavor. Pound it like so, where all the fibers are nicely released, and I'm going to add it to the rasam. Mix it well. This is one of the reasons why probably my rasam tastes really good. My grandmother always pounded the stems and added to the rasam. It just gives a great flavor. Now to add that extra garlic flavor, take about 4 cloves of garlic along with the skin. Add around 1 teaspoon of cumin seed powder and 1 teaspoon of black pepper powder, and I'm going to pound it really well. Make sure the flame of the gas should not be high. Just keep it on medium-low and allow this to boil. This is how you want to pound the cumin seeds, black pepper and garlic. This will add a lot of flavor. Trust me guys, give this a try. And if you don't want to pound it, just put it in your mixie jar, give it a couple of pulses. Make sure it doesn't become a paste. Just keep it like this and that will be great. You can notice that the rasam is coming to a rolling boil. At this stage, you will add the pepper, cumin and garlic which we just pounded. This is the main flavor of this dish which will make it extra garlicky and make the rasam the garlic rasam. So mix it well. And now, because the tamarind was already partially cooked in the hot water, I'm not trying to boil it for too long, and rasam in general should never boil for too long. After adding the pounded garlic and spices, add half a cup of water, mix it well, and now I'm going to keep it at a very low heat till it has a foam forming on the top, and that's when we will turn it off. Rasam should never boil, otherwise it will start having a aftertaste of a little bit of bitterness. Any kind of rasam should never boil. So just bring it to a foamy consistency and I'll turn it off. That should only take about a minute or two. Keep an eye on it. Right after adding the last bit of water, check for seasoning. And like I always say, when it is a lot of tamarind, there has to be a little bit of jaggery to adjust the flavor and taste. The aftertaste will be just a hint of sweet, which is perfect. This is how I like it. If you don't want to add jaggery, you don't have to add it. And mix it well. Make sure you check for seasoning here. If you need to add salt, you can always add. Mix it well and let it just come to one nice foam on top, and the rasam is ready. Rasam is ready. Do not allow it to boil. Turn off the gas. Add a lot of fresh coriander. Today my coriander is looking a little sad. I left it outside too long. Just put that, and along with that, you make sure you add a nice dollop of ghee and close it so the flavors don't escape. That's it. Garlic rasam is ready. Today, along with rasam, I've made some spicy aloo curry and some tondli sabji. This is what my children like, and usually anytime I make some, I'll pack and freeze one portion for my older child.